Hello friends and welcome to Sustainable Prepping, your home for fear-free emergency preparedness and a sustainable life. My name is Brecky and today we are packing up the guest room office to get ready for our big move across states from West Virginia to North Carolina. And I wanted to take you along as I go through what has been my unofficial prepper's closet. It's the guest room closet where we kept a lot of our food storage. Now in a previous video, and you can kind of see it woo-hoo-hoo back here, but in these boxes back here, I stored my freeze-dried food. So I have quite a lot of freeze-dried food. I have really bulked up my midterm pantry with freeze-dried food. Yes, it lasts 25 years, but I did that so that my midterm pantry wasn't something I was having to rotate quite as often. But I have some of my midterm pantry in here. So let me spin this around and show you. Okay, so here is the closet. It is a huge mess because we've been taking things out. I've got some buckets, some are full, some are not. This is ruined rice. Don't be like me and leave your rice out. I forgot that I'd set it there. I've got a whole stack of paperwork here to go through, but this is some of my food storage. Some of it was not repackaged, but as you can see, I have a lot of stuff in there. There's water purification tablets. I've got pasta, gluten-free pasta, and then another box down here that has oatmeal and other things like that, some sugar that I've sealed up. Now, and here I am. Now, I am going to keep some of this. I'm going to take some of this with us to our new move, but most of it I'm going to be donating. I've had it now for 2 years, and so it's going to be getting to the end of its shelf life as far as what's on there. So I want to donate it to those who could use it before it totally expires. And this is stuff I feel comfortable letting go of because I've been replacing things with freeze-dried over the last 12 months. So I've been slowly adding a lot more freeze-dried in order to be able to replace some of this more commercially canned food. Yes, commercially canned food is more expensive, and it is going to cost more to replace some of this. However, the cost of shipping it for some of these items is not worth it. Some of it is, but not all of it. So I'm going to take you through how I evaluate that and the fact that we will be donating all of this to charity. So there are a couple of places in my small town that have blessing boxes and food pantries, and we do plan on supporting them with this excess food storage that we're going to be donating, that we're going to be rotating. And those of you who know my pantry system, my mid-tier pantry system, if you've taken my class, my food storage in a weekend class, you know that rotation is a part of it. You are going to be rotating every 1 to 2 years. And one of the things is that you're able to be generous. You donate what you're not going to eat yourselves, you're not going to use, and you just replace it. And that's just built into the system. So it allows you to be generous and to help those who are in a state of financial precarity, which right now is a lot more people than it was even a year ago. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to take you along and let you see what's in those food storage containers. Like I said, back there is all the freeze-dried, and I've already gone through some things. So freeze-dried is already taken care of, but this is just my commercially canned items. This is not my actual pantry. None of this is my working pantry. It's all my mid-tier pantry. So I'm going to take you along with me. Let's go. I'm not 100% sure how well you can see all of that, and I know it's going to be shadowed because we are working in my closet. And I don't have a professional light set up, but I wanted you to actually see what we have in here. So I have, for example, rolled oats, okay? Would it have been more ideal to repackage these in Mylar? Sure, but the goal was that these would be rotated. So I have oats, I have pasta, a ton of pasta. I have spaghetti, right? I have 3. So there was 3 boxes of these elbow noodles, okay? 3 boxes of elbow noodles. I have 3 boxes of spaghetti. And again, this is in addition to my working pantry. If you've ever seen my shelves, you know I have a ton of pasta. We don't actually eat a lot of pasta, but pasta is cheap. And then I have some gluten-free because I have a son who's gluten-free. So I've got some boxes of pasta for him. I've got some penne noodles. Lordy, I really stocked up on the pasta. More gluten-free pasta. Let me actually show you if I can. So if you look in here, this is pasta. This is all stacked up with pasta, brown rice pasta here. And then I've got green beans. I've got chicken, tons of chicken. These are water sanitizing tablets, which is important to have in your food storage. Yeah, a lot of chicken and green beans. And what's down at the bottom? Woo! Oh, down at the bottom is Hunt's tomato sauce. I don't actually like this tomato sauce as much, but it's in a can rather than a jar, which makes it a little bit longer stabilization. It won't shatter, so that's why I got it. for me and my family, I'm looking at this, you know, we have a ton of these chunk 2-packs of chicken. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. We've got 4 of these big cans of green beans, and I actually have 3 more additional cans that were stored under my bed. I've got, how many of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There were 8 of these big tomato sauces. And so basically what I was probably thinking is that we could do pasta sauce and chicken and green beans. You know, we could turn this into, you know, chicken lasagnas and chicken spaghetti, not your favorite, but I actually prefer canned chicken to any other canned meat. I don't actually, tuna's okay, but I don't like canned beef that isn't home canned in a glass jar. So this was really meant to be a good stopgap. We've got proteins, we've got vegetables, we've got carbs, and we've got a sauce, and I can do a lot with this. But I suspect the majority of what's in here I'm going to donate because we don't necessarily need it. I might keep 1 or 2 of these canned chicken packs just to have as a backup, but for the most part I'm going to let it go. So this is going to all get donated, and because we are able to be generous, and because we're able to, you could say, lose this money, because we don't need to keep it, we can be generous, and there are going to be families who will benefit. And in our area where hunger is always a problem, and it's even more of a problem now, this is going to be a generous gift, and I'm able to share the wealth and the love to others. So that's exciting. This is all going to be donated. Again, not 100% sure how much you can see, and the lighting isn't awesome, but I'm going to show you my other box of stuff. And this is primarily breakfast food. So I've got a ton of whole grain rolled oats. These are all organic. They smell okay, so I don't know if I'm going to keep them or not though, because I have purchased a 10-pound or 20-pound bag from Azure Standard that's already kind of ready to go. So because these are packaged, I may donate these. I have some boxes of gluten-free pancake mix, and I will keep these. I am definitely going to use these. Yeah, here's another gluten-free pancake mix. I basically decided not to buy gluten pancake mix that our emergency stash would be gluten-free, because I have a number 10 cans gluten mix. So I have a bunch of this in our commercially canned or commercially packaged boxes. Okay, as we get further down into the stuff, you'll see I have some baking soda. Baking soda is great for baking, but it's also great for cleaning, so this is a really good thing to have on hand. More rolled oats. I will probably donate those or give them to a friend. I have here, so this is sugar that I've packaged. I actually have plans for this sugar because I knew it was here. It's going to be going into another bucket because it's all nice and packaged up. So I'm going to keep this. This is dark brown sugar. Again, good for baking. It's good to have a variety, and I will probably put this in another bucket that I'm going to be making. All right, I don't know how well you can see down in there. I wish I had a better light, but I have several packages of beans that are sealed, and they are from May 18, which is I'd been in this house 1 year when I put these in here. I'm proud of myself. Look at that. I was trying to do it in a hurry because I was getting married and getting ready to have my family, you know, my new family move in, my stepsons and my husband move in, and I wanted to make sure we had food storage. There it is. So I've got pinto beans. I got 2 sets of pinto beans here, and there's black beans. 2 sets here. This one looks like the seal might have broken, but I don't see any reason to think that it's not perfect. No, the seal's still pretty tight. So these are still okay. Black turtle beans. And then we got more sugar. Sugar is essential long term if you're going to be making bread, if you're going to be making any kind of preservation of fruit, and you can even use sugar to cure meat. You do want to have a fair amount of sugar on hand. So I've got a fair bit of sugar. Is this ideal? Again, no, it's not, but I didn't have access to Mylar, and you don't want to store sugar with an oxygen absorber because it'll make it too hard, make it really, really hard to break up and use. So I've got more sugar here, and I do have plans for this stored sugar, so it will be coming with us. Sugar lasts forever if it doesn't get wet. So it's a great, great resource. And here I've got a ton of syrups. These were on sale at our local Kroger. They were on sale. I think they were like a buy one, get one free, or buy 5, and they're all like 50% off or something kind of a deal. So I have some, and I've already actually taken one out of here because I knew they were here. I needed one about 4 or 5 months ago, I came and raided. So there were 5, there are now 4 of these little things of syrup. Yep, see here the other 2. And like I said, we've already raided for these. All right, I have 2 more pinto beans, which is funny because we don't actually love pinto beans. They're not our favorite bean to have, and they're the cheapest, which is why we have them, but they're not our favorite. We'd rather have cannellini beans or black beans or chickpeas. These are our 3 favorites. So I don't know. Maybe I won't keep these long term. We'll see. I'll think about it. All right, and last but not least, in here is more sugar. Okay, so that is going through my 2 boxes. Remember that under our guest bed, I had storage, which was primarily freeze-dried, and that this was what I put together as my mid-tier storage, and then slowly began phasing things out of this storage and replacing it with freeze-dried for my own personal, that was my personal desire. You don't have to do that. If you follow my course, everything is stuff you can get at the grocery store. You don't have to invest in freeze-dried because it is much more expensive. Okay, way more expensive. All of this was probably a couple $100. To do this in freeze dried would be $1,000. I mean, for a family, we're a family of 6, so it'd be much more expensive. So, you know, do with what you have. Be mindful of what you have, steward what you have, and don't feel like you have to do it perfectly. I've been working on this food storage for 5 years, this particular batch of food storage for 5 years. So just keep all of that in mind. So now what I'm going to do is think about what I'm going to keep and put the giveaways in a box and let some friends of mine know what I have if they would like a few things, and then give the rest to charity. I'm thinking things like the oats. Would these be good for a charity pantry? A lot of folks in our community, they don't have kitchens. They don't have access to reliable kitchens, and if they do, it's like a microwave. So I don't know if this will get a lot of mileage out of our charity boxes, or if this would be better just to give to a friend. I'm gonna go think about that, talk to some people, and I will show you what I'm keeping and what we're letting go of. I'll get all that sorted and come back to you. Okay friends, so I have been packing and sorting, and I actually talked to a good friend of mine who is also in the preparedness community here in my small town, and I was asking her if she knew of anybody who was starting like a prepper pantry and could use some of the things that wouldn't necessarily translate to a food pantry, like the oats. And she said that she volunteers for a local humane society, and that a couple of the staff, they only have a couple staff members, are really struggling because the Humane Society doesn't really pay well, and with the huge increase in the cost of food here, they're struggling. So I've decided that I am going to give all of my stuff to the folks at the Humane Society, the folks who work there, and then any volunteers who are having a hard time, I'm going to let them have it. There will be other things that I can give to our blessing boxes as I go through my working pantry. I have a lot of things that will be a little bit easier for folks who don't have who only have a microwave to cook with and stuff. So because this is all very cooking heavy, I'm going to donate these boxes. I wanted to show you what that ended up looking like. So first I'll take you and show you what I'm keeping. Okay, so this is sort of the big conjunction of what I'm keeping. I'm keeping some of the gluten-free stuff. I'm keeping pancake mix and sugar, that sort of thing. And of course, I've got my maple syrup, and I have got my water purification tablets. And so I'll repackage all of that for transport. Then I have 2 big boxes here that are assorted stuff. I've decided to donate. I'm going to take them out of these packages. I'm going to donate the beans because I have so many. I have been blessed with abundance, so I am going to be a gift of abundance. So I'm going to give the black beans, the black turtle beans. I'm going to give all 6 of these organic rolled oats. They're totally usable. I could totally use these, but I don't need them. And so why not gift to those who are struggling? That is a good part of having this rotation system. There's 6 cans of green beans mixed between the 2 boxes. We've got the pasta sauce mixed between the 2 boxes. And then I'm going to give all the chicken. Yes, I could have kept a little bit of it, but I'm going to choose to give generously. Because if I was in a needful situation, I would want someone to be generous. All right, and this is the second big box of stuff. I might end up having to put it into smaller boxes so I can lift it. And again, as you can see from here, I've got the pinto beans. I've got more green beans. I have, I think, 6 boxes of this thin spaghetti, and then different assorted, I think 6 boxes down here of assorted penne, bow tie, elbow pasta, and then more pasta sauce down there with green beans. And so these 2 boxes are about 50 to 60% of that midterm food storage from those 2 boxes that I will now gift to those in need. It can be really easy when you get into preparedness to think from a mindset of scarcity. There's not enough food, there's not enough water, there's not enough medical supplies, there's not enough, because in an emergency we're always operating from this idea of not enoughness. But the truth is, when you can operate from a place of generosity, of abundance, you're going to be happier. First of all, you're going to be able to hold your items lighter and see that you can support your community. When your community is fed, when people who are already struggling have that little bit of padding, that makes a minor emergency a little bit smoother. So if you can support your community, support those who are in need, people who maybe weren't in need 6 months ago, but now with the recession hitting so hard, with inflation hitting so hard, they are depleting their stores. If we can help support them now, then when a crisis comes, they won't be quite so bad off, and that helps sort of selfishly support us. I do want you to feel like you have a place of abundance. I don't want you to live in fear, and I don't want you to live with a scarcity mindset. It is not healthy or helpful. So I want to encourage you, as you create that midterm food storage, as you get things like, the green beans. We don't love green beans. Canned green beans aren't our favorite, but we certainly will use them. We are happy to rotate these out, and there are people who are happy to eat them. And so a part of our system is knowing that we may never eat this. It may never get eaten in our family, but that's not waste. That's insurance. And that offers us space to be generous to others. It gives us space to live into abundance. So friends, comment down below and let me know, how do you do your food storage rotation? Is this a helpful guide? I'd like to know if this was insightful for you. And if you have any questions about my food storage, please let me know. Again, I do run a course, a wonderful e-course called Food Storage in a Weekend. It walks you through how to do an entire month of midterm food storage in just a weekend. It takes all the fear out of it. It helps you create a meal plan so you actually eat everything you store. You don't have to buy the expensive freeze-dried stuff. I chose to do that over the course of about 4 years to slowly replace a lot of this midterm stuff with freeze-dried for my own personal preference. You don't have to do that. You can use your Walmart green beans and your basic rolled oats, and if you're doing an annual rotation, you just put them into your regular pantry when you're done. And that's what I would have done if we weren't moving, but since we're moving, I'm going to be generous and donate these to those in need. I hope you're all well, and until the next video, happy prepping.